All smiles. Hi guys, welcome to this episode or live stream of At the Backdoor. We're celebrating Women's Month.
Yes.
This is the first Wednesday of Women's Month, so the first time we can actually shoot this. I'm joined today by Christel.
Yes.
Welcome. You excited?
Yes, Gab. I am excited and very grateful to be here.
Yeah? I'm so happy to have you. I'm actually really excited what we're going to talk about.
And I'm really nervous.
No. You were telling me something earlier, because you're a psychologist, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, let's just...
No, I'm not a psychologist yet,
Oh.
but I'm a psychology student.
But you're really close.
Yeah,
You're almost
hopefully.
there. Yeah. Can you please introduce yourself to
Hello
the camera?
everyone, I'm Christel and I am a psychology student and I'm also a content creator, so I create content about self-help and psychology stuff.
Yeah? Great. But you do other things. You also advocate a little bit, or also podcasts? I understood that you...
I also have a podcast
Yes.
called Real Talk, and I have it with my boyfriend. So we talk about relationship tips. That's why relationship talks. That's why it's Real, shortcut for relationship and talk.
Okay, that's good. So I'm happy to have you here because we're going to start celebrating Women's Month. Well, it started like a few weeks ago. Well, sorry, last week. But then again, we only shoot on Wednesdays. So.
Yeah. Well, actually, fun fact. My name is also March. I'm Christel March.
Oh, get out!
But I'm not born in July. I'm not born in March. I'm born in July.
So that's a very fun fact. That's totally out of topic. So Women's Month. Really excited. So today we're going to be talking about, first we're going to have a little ode to women and celebrate them.
Of course.
And then we're going to talk about certain beauty standards and standards for women. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
I'm scared I'm going to say something wrong, and then
it's
you're going to
okay.
get so angry at me. Oh. So let's start. Women's Month. I think I've said that a million times already. Let's celebrate it. What is so great about women?
Women. As a woman, of
Yes.
course. Guys, woman has this gift inside us that's something we can't describe and explain, but you'll feel it that when you're with a woman, you just feel so much love, care, affection, and support.
Yeah. I would think let's just go. I have like a little list in my head, right? Because I think about the women in my life, mainly the ones I grew up with was my ma and my sister. Nurturing and compassionate.
Have you felt it?
Of course, my mom is the best.
Yeah.
She really made me. But my father was there too. But it's Women's Month.
Yeah. Kita ang girls ngayon.
Yeah. But I did, yeah, absolutely. I grew up with if I have to talk about the role models I've had in my life. Excuse me, that must have been very loud in the microphone. It's really my ma. She was always the one who wore the pants in the house. Everything was what ma said. and it's absolutely fantastic. I wouldn't want it any other way. But I'm also a really big mama's boy, so it doesn't make it easier, right? So let's talk more about women. Nurturing, compassionate.
Empathetic.
Yes.
Emotional.
Empathetic, and then we have a little list, right?
Yeah.
Collaborative.
Collaborative, yes.
What does that mean? How would you describe that to me?
Based on psychology, women tend to be more collaborative than men because men have this tendency to be competitive.
Wow.
Is it true for you?
Generalizing.
No.
Generalizing. Oof.
Tendency, okay, just
Tendency.
a clarification. Yeah. I don't mean to generalize all men, but women are more collaborative. We want to help each other, we want to have teamwork and support each other.
Okay, that's what you mean. Yeah. I'm very competitive, so I understand what you mean. Okay, but let's compare it a little bit more, because I have another word here that you mentioned earlier was, well, not earlier, on the live stream earlier, when we were talking about this, intuitive.
Yeah, we have this intuition. We know if what you're saying is true. Diba, girls? Especially if you have a partner or you just feel it that there's something inside you that you can connect with a person, that you know if tama ba or totoo ba yung sinasabi niya.
Yeah.
If seryoso ka ba. So we have this gift. Kaya when we feel something most of the time, it's like a gut feeling na totoo.
Yeah.
We're intuitive. Because we base on emotions and feelings.
Yes, that's another word we have on our list.
Emotional.
Which is emotional.
Yeah.
And I think this one resonates the strongest. People are like, yes, women are emotional. But I think it's actually very good. I mean, you're saying about intuitive. Oh, it's such a difficult word.
You're connected, guys.
Yeah.
So, biologically, of course, our hormones fluctuates every month. Yeah, very emotional talaga kami when we get our period, yan. And then, when we were young, most of us women were told to express our feelings compared to men, right? They say na, oh, wag ka iiyak. Oh, ano ka, wag ka maging sensitive. Not compared to women, we can express more our emotions. That's why we're good at expressing them and connecting to people, because we had more, I think we had more freedom to express ourselves and just speak about what we feel compared to men, that you should be strong.
Yeah, we were just there being
You
competitive.
should not cry. You should be brave, di ba?
Yeah. I understand what you mean.
But sometimes our being emotional, sumasobra.
I think like if you talk about like the strength that women have to go through, especially with like the biggest changes that you have. You know, like right now, it's always been a thing, women empowerment and all these things, but now I feel like it's really there. I think it's really great because I think that's an aspect that, you know, for example, men could learn in a little bit to be able to be free with expressing their emotions, you know, all these things, right? So, but you also have weaknesses.
Of course.
Which are they?
Whew.
Tell me them.
Okay, for me, personally, I have my own insecurities, and I believe all of us, even men, have their own insecurities. But for us women, parang there's more pressure to look good, to be good, to excel. Like there's more pressure for us, I think, especially with how you look, how you present yourself, and doon nalalabas yung pagiging people-pleasing namin, and we just want to please others, that we want to make sure that we look good or we please them.
Yeah, and that's something we're going to get into a little bit later, right? Talking about beauty standards and everything. But what else? Let's see. Let's just spit it all out, because for every single positive thing, once it's there's no such thing as Man's Month.
Really?
Men's Month? Does that exist?
I don't know, not sure. Pero wala na. Wala ata. Grabe.
Yeah.
You should also be celebrated.
Yeah, also March. No.
Yeah, okay.
So what else? What else makes a woman? I wouldn't say that it's like a weakness. I think every single weakness is its strength, and every strength is its weakness. No, right?
I think having weaknesses isn't really a bad thing, because it humbles us and it makes us human.
Yeah.
And the fact that when we feel that we're not good at something, or when we feel that we're struggling, then there's where our strength comes, like we become resilient. Okay, so yun nga, going back, one of our weaknesses too is we tend to compare ourselves to others, especially to ladies. Like what we see on social media, whenever we see these influencers, ang ganda niya, ang perfect niya, and then unconsciously you'll feel low. Parang ako, why am I not like that? So, yun, I don't know, but I think that's for us ladies, that when we scroll, we see.
Yeah, I think it's also somewhat comparable to men. I'm guessing, again, what you were saying earlier about like being more vocal about your emotions and your feelings. I mean, of course, you feel those things. I think men also have like a certain thing, because we're going to talk about social media a little bit later when it comes to these things, but like, just because you mentioned it, I think also based on what you see, right? But I understand fully what you mean. Like if you see these beauty standards, or you see like all these people achieving something that you're like, oh, that's not me. I wish it were.
Yeah, sana all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I'm really happy to be celebrating Women's Month. I think this is really interesting, and I think it's also really interesting to be a man, and I get to hear about all these things, because if I have to be honest with the people watching, I had to do quite a bit of research. You know, like we had a script ready, like not a script, but like a little guideline, and I really had to inform myself a little bit, because like I don't want to sound like too foolish, but I do think like I do have my own perspectives into this, especially because I also grew up abroad. So I'm actually really keen to learn about like beauty standards and like the difficulties, or like the journey for women in the Philippines. And I think it's in the Philippines, right? And again, like I know maybe just the basics from my little research that I've done. I'm actually really, really excited. So Women's Month.
Yeah.
How else do you celebrate that here? It's just like a celebration of womanhood, right? How is there like the whole thing to it?
Actually, I'm not used to having the Women's Month. Like, I would just hear about it. Except for now, because I was invited here. So parang medyo, may Women's Month talaga.
Yeah.
Actually, a while ago, while I was in the LRT, in the train, they were greeting, Happy Women's Month.
Oh, that's so cute.
So
Yeah.
when I just hear about it, but I don't really get to celebrate about it, or we don't really focus on that thing.
Do you think it's something they have to really celebrate? I think that it just like a whole month just for literally 50% of the population. It's a little.
For me, we need to celebrate ourselves
every day, right? That's
Of course.
That's what I
You're a
think.
human.
Yeah, exactly.
Celebrate your wins.
We don't even have a month, so I'm just saying. Like, what a bummer. We just have to sit there in silence, like when we were raised.
We're the queen.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, like, just jokes aside, I do think that it's really nice that certain aspect, but I think it should be celebrated all the time.
Yeah.
Just humanity as a whole, right?
Yeah, we should celebrate ourselves every day, even if
so too.
we're feeling down and struggling.
Yeah, and I think that's really, really important to find our way out of everything a little bit, right? Okay, so let's start talking about womanhood and beauty standards here in the Philippines.
Ooh.
Yes, and I have a list of things that we can talk about. But before I do so, should we see if we already have some questions ready?
Okay, sure.
Let's see. Do we? No, people are just really, really happy to see you. I'm guessing these are people that you look at this one. Girl power, relationship goals. I don't know what that would mean. Her boyfriend is watching from the sideline. Yeah. Here, there's a really quick question here from Arlene. What are your thoughts? I'm sorry, I don't like it, because there's like a little bubble here.
Okay.
What are your thoughts saying about di ka naman maganda maputi ka lang?
Oh, I can't relate kasi hindi ako maputi.
Yeah. What does that mean? Like,
maputi means you have a white skin or lighter complexion.
oh, okay. Ooh. We'll get to that in a short while.
Yeah. What
about
are
these
your
things.
thoughts about those people? For me, meron talagang masasabi yung tao sa'yo. I mean, lahat naman tayo may flaws, right? We all have our own flaws. Even if you look or you seem to be so perfect, meron pa rin silang mahanap na butas sa'yo. So, what really matters here is what you feel about yourself. Now, when you're aware of your strengths and weaknesses, you embrace your flaws and your insecurities. I guess whatever people tell you, it won't really matter. Of course, we won't be able to avoid feeling hurt.
No.
Or
Yeah.
medyo masakit yun. But if you know who you are, I mean, you know all the parts of you, the good and the bad, then it will be easier for you to embrace who you are and not get affected easily by others.
Yeah.
So kahit ang sabihin sa'yo, sus, mayaman ka naman, or sus, ano ka naman, so what, diba?
Yeah. Okay. So just for the viewers out there, you can ask anything that you want. We're going to look at the chat every now and then. So we're going to go through certain topics.
Go lang, guys.
Yeah, and just ask whatever you want.
questions.
You can ask me something about Women's Month too. I cannot promise that I will be able to answer correctly. But that's why I have Christel here as my super support. So let's talk about like the history and the evolution of the standards of being a woman. What can you tell me about this? Let's talk about like the ideal. First, let's talk about like the ideal beauty traits.
Before.
Yes.
Of course, before.
Here in the Philippines,
Okay,
because
here in the
like,
Philippines.
I'm here to learn.
Okay. Women are seen to be traditional, to be conservative. You should be prim and proper, Maria Clara, di ba?
Yeah.
That's what they call the Maria Clara. And then you should just stay at home. You should take care of the home, your kids, and actually before women aren't encouraged to go to school like
I would think so. Maybe a long time. I'm not sure about here in the Philippines, to be honest.
Because some of my great grandmothers or the stories that I hear from my family, like as early as 16, they already have their own family, their own kids.
Oh my god. Yeah. So see, I just turned 31. That is just like having a 15-year-old kid right now. Oh God.
They have
Yeah.
a lot. And when before they usually have 10, 15.
I know. If you start so early, I mean. Yeah.
So I guess that's what a woman does, is to focus on taking care of her family
Yes.
more than pursuing the career, because
But then over the years, how would you say that it progressed?
I guess
Because again, like very little information from my end, especially here in the Philippines. Maybe you have learned from like stories or like pictures that you've seen from your family and all these things. I actually have very little idea how it was here.
okay. Here so far I can see that women has become more persevering, na when we want something, or we when we aim for it, we get it, or when we have a career, parang mas doon naka-focus. That's why in general parang marami yung late na nagkakaroon ng family, or late na nagsa-settle down because we want to focus more on the career and
Living life a little bit different, right?
yeah, and also we tend to speak more out right now. Kasi before, di ba, parang as ladies, dapat wag ka masyado magsalita. I mean, you shouldn't speak more of yourself. But now, we can express ourselves freely. Sometimes sumasobra na. Yeah.
But then now that you say that, right? Like I'm thinking, the older generation must still think that here, right? Because I'm looking back at my grandmother, right? And I still, every now and then she says things and I'm like, yeah, that's very outdated.
Like what?
You know, she goes like, I remember she would tell my sister, for example, she's like, you have to be a bit more poised, a bit more gracious.
Okay.
Because my sister's like what you explained, like what I would describe like a modern day woman, like who's exactly
careless.
can study whatever she wants, you know, has her own drive, has her own thoughts, has her own, you know, like, and like if I can talk about my sister, she's really a fantastic person. Out of all my siblings, like if my brother and I disappeared, my parents would still be happy because she's still there. You know what I mean? Like, like it's okay. As long as the good one is still here. Like, yeah. But then my grandmother would say things like, "You have to be a bit more gracious, a bit more poised. You have to show the world that you're ladylike." I'm not kidding. She has said these things, right?
Which is not wrong, actually.
No. But like, it could be a little bit contradictory still, outdated. No? Outdated. Yeah.
Women right now are like, woo!
Yeah, no. I wouldn't know really, like compared to maybe all those years ago. Because when I look back again at my mom was really like career driven already, right? And career driven, was focused. She knew what she wanted, and luckily, I think she raised, well, together with my father, of course, they raised my sister to be like an individual of her own, you know, to be the person that she wants to be. And I think that's actually, you know, if you really generalize how it used to be a long time ago.
An empowered woman.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. But then what about like the ideal beauty traits? Because I think this is like always a big conversation, you know, like
ideal beauty traits here in the Philippines.
Yeah, let's just go back first to like what it was before. Do you know any idea about that? Let's say we're talking.
But let's say, ano ba yung sa Araling Panlipunan? It's a subject in our school where we study about mga panahon, something like history. History before here in the Philippines, like we have the negrito, negrita, like the curly, thick lips, mga ganyan.
Okay.
And dark tone. So, right now, parang we usually have this discrimination na, maitim ka when you have a darker skin tone, or your hair is curly, pag kulot, salot daw. Ganun yung mga sinasabi. Salot is like, ano ba salot in English?
You guys can feel that, yeah. Every now and then I might have a problem understanding what's salot.
Like it's like you're a menace to the society if you're like.
Oh, with like messy hair and then curly hair.
Not too.
Curly hair and darker skin, you said, right?
Yeah, and with the nose, they want more yung matangos or
like the bridge.
Yeah, the bridge.
Yeah.
So many standard na.
But I still feel like it's a little bit the same now, no?
Yeah, it's actually, I think it's the same.
I don't think it's that different. From what I understood, you know, because every now and then I hear a lot about like whitening cream.
Yeah.
I know we're gonna get to that a little bit later as well, but like the whitening cream option, like I remember my brother, my grandmother again. My brother is darker than me,
Okay.
and my my grandmother gave him cream that's also whitening.
Did it work?
I don't think he used it.
Okay.
Yeah, because we were like, it wasn't an issue to us because we didn't really,
Of course.
yeah, we didn't feel like we were discriminated against. And my brother's like super straight hair, so it's kind of like 50-50, you know?
Okay, okay.
But how do you think the beauty standards have evolved now over the years? Like if you, from what you understood before to how it looks now?
I don't know, but I think it changes a lot. Like before, people would see curly hair, like it's not nice, but right now people would love to curl their hair.
Right? Yeah.
Or with the skin tone naman, we're starting to embrace the morena or having a dark tone or yung morena is like
Yeah.
morena is having a skin that's not really white or bright, but somewhere like dark between dark and light.
Yeah.
And
It's a Spanish word.
yeah.
Colonization.
Mga Espanyol ang
Yeah.
pagsasabi. Yeah, but you're also correct when you said a while ago that I think it doesn't change with how people see you as a woman. Like there's still judgments. Hindi ba rin mawawala siya?
But then what would you say would be like the more like modernized beauty traits now?
Beauty traits now. Of course, we want the clear skin. We want the brighter skin. So, and
Which is impossible in this country because it's so humid.
Unless
I'm literally
you're
sweating
an
right
artista
now.
or you have beauty bello, mga ganyan. like the artistas or the influencers get sponsored in having the beauty treatment. But how about us ordinary ladies, right?
Yeah.
The realities of life na we don't get to do those things.
No. But then you still thrive to get it all done.
Yeah, from beauty products.
Yeah. Do you think they work? Do you think it's just like an exploitation of consumerism to make you believe that you need it?
Yeah, I guess so. From commercial, right?
Yeah.
From advertisement, from what you see on social media right now, from TikTok, mga ganyan.
Is your algorithm like?
Sometimes, not really.
No?
Yeah, not really. But I see that there's stuff that they promote about, kailangan, guys, bilhin nyo na to, pampaputi, ganon. Kailangan nyo na to. That's why it creates a need that we feel that there's a need to blend in the standards of the society, to look good, wherein sometimes it's not realistic na with what they show in social media.
Yeah. Because again, I'm not very familiar with like how do you say it? Beauty content creators. I would think that's like the best way to put it. Here in the Philippines, I'm really none.
Okay.
I do know about like the whitening. What?
You should know more about it.
No, but I mean, like, it's not on my algorithm, right? Like, it's not like, ooh, what's in now? No, that's not something that I search for. My algorithm is very, very different in that sense. But then now that we're talking about social media and everything, right? So, what would you say are the pressures it creates?
Wow. When you say pressure, let's take a pause.
Okay.
There's so much pressure that we have right now, unconsciously, when we open our social media accounts, when we browse to TikTok, we feel this, proven by psychology now. We have a somehow low self-esteem after seeing those influencers or seeing the content on social media. That creates a pressure because we want to also look good. We want to look so like perfect na what we see, and it affects us. Like, yun nga, parang we tend to shy or become less confident.
Yeah.
Because with what we see, because why is she so pretty? Why does she seem so perfect? And I have this acne. Yung skin ko hindi okay. Yeah.
Okay, so this might be a little strange question. You know, the togetherness of women, you know, women stand for women. When you see an influencer like this promoting a product that is targeted and creates this sort of like, you know, like personal low self-esteem, poor body image, or poor self-image. Would you support that? Do you support something like that? When you see these content creators,
I don't have nothing against. I mean, I don't want to judge them because, of course, if it's their work, right?
Yeah, of course. But I mean, like, yeah.
But I appreciate more. There are content creators who show their authentic self,
Yeah.
like their flaws from those who work out. Even if they work out, they still have a big tummy, ganun. Or with their skin, they still show their acne or yung mga flaws. I think I appreciate those content creators who show their vulnerability and their flaws, not just yung parang perfect side nila or the good stuff.
Yeah, because I'm also thinking about like, you know, on social media, what you're saying, like these content creators who showing their flaws. It's something that's increasing over the years, right? Before it was like just one kind of beauty standard, but now I feel everybody's embracing a lot more. And would you say that that improves? Uy.
Uy, nahulog.
She has her phone with her, just in case. Oh, let's put this somewhere else. Do you need it? No, okay, good. Like expecting a very important call. No, so let's say there's much more diversity now into what beauty standards could be, and then people more embracing themselves, like, yeah. And so do you think that is something that has a strong impact into this like beauty standard in the modern Philippines?
Yes. I think we get to be more vulnerable and embrace our own weaknesses because we also see it from others. Ay, hindi din pala ako nag-iisa.
Yeah, you're not alone.
She also experienced it. She also have the same struggles with mine. She has the same insecurities, and it's okay. It's okay to have those pala.
Yeah, I think so too. I think because I see every now and then, one of the biggest examples I can think about is, and this has nothing to do with the Philippines, but how would you say it? Indigenous tribes who have their face tattooed, according to, like, I think this is in the United States and parts of the ones I saw, at least, I think New Zealand or Australia, and I think that's really remarkable, you know, like embracing a certain beauty because based on heritage. Is there something like that in the Philippines, by the way? Is there?
There's a facial tattoos?
Yeah, facial tattoos or something like a sort of like.
There's a famous tattoo or the
but mostly on like
Okay, but there's no like because, yeah, I think like anyways, I'm not gonna get into that one, but okay. So yeah, so the diversity now inside of like in the beauty standard world or like the self-image world is diversifying, which is actually really, I think it's really nice. Yeah, and then, but then let's like move over to like, should I move over? Wait, am I missing something? Yeah. Ooh. I do. Do you have something else to add? No. And what about, so we're talking about social media now. What about the general traditional media here in the Philippines? Do you think it has an impact as well?
Yeah, of course. I think there's still this unrealistic image that influencers or advertisements show na dapat maputi, ganyan, or clear skin.
Yeah.
And still, they're increasing content that's creating more about authenticity and the vulnerabilities of women. So
Yeah.
I think it's kind of diverse. Sabi mo, diverse yung.
Is it seen here in the media world, like in TV, like a more diverse group of people?
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Can you cut a little bit? Her mic is, I think her mic kind of cut out there.
Oh.
I think it does.
And it's still here.
Okay.
Let's do a quick in-between mic test.
Hello.
One more.
Hello.
Then you have to speak a little louder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Hello?
There's always going to be technical difficulties.
okay.
It's always
Nice
part of the
game,
excitement. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. But then, like, okay, so then in the media world, there's also a certain beauty standard. But do you also think like it's changing as well, like a more diverse? Yeah.
Yes, it's more diverse right now because people have the courage more to show off their true self, their flaws, and
Yeah.
their imperfections. Like with what I said a while ago, they're content creators, like in the fitness content, where
Mhm.
even if they keep on working out, we still have this kind of big tummy or fats
that's
and
me.
life.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
not perfect. And that's what I love seeing. Na, oh,
It's a more
it's
human.
normal.
Yeah,
it's more
yeah.
human.
I'm like that too. I do a lot of sports, but
Mhm.
still like this.
We're still good.
Yeah. Okay, there's actually one again.
A little bit,
Ah.
let's just fix the audio.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Hold on.
Audio.
Yeah. I'm not gonna cut to the technical difficulties.
No.
Let's
You go.
make it natural.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Where's the bag?
Oh, I got disconnected. Were we even hearing anything she was saying?
I'm sorry. I need to be more careful.
Ooh, that's a little odd.
Anong part daw nawala?
Did we miss a lot?
I think it can be heard through your mic.
Yeah, okay, but still.
Can you talk?
Hello, like this. Okay.
Perfect.
Hello? Okay, I should be more careful and be
So my grandmother wasn't wrong. No. No. I think it's once when your phone fell and then
Okay.
it disconnected when you went down. There's actually let's continue. I actually have a question about this because it's something that I do see here quite a bit. Beauty pageants,
Okay.
right? It's a big part of the culture here, but doesn't that affect again, like if you're a girl growing up? You know, that's part of the pop culture, you know, like the modern culture of having to see beauty pageants. Would that have an effect as well? Like, I don't know about you. Did you
For
grow up?
me-
Yeah, like,
For me, seeing those who are in pageants, I don't really get insecure, but I get inspired. Wow, it's not just about beauty, it's also about brains. And
Mhm.
right now, I
Yeah.
love how the beauty pageant is becoming more open.
Evolving,
Yeah,
no?
evolving
Yeah.
na. It's not just about slim women or mga single. They also include yung mga mother na or even those who's not that really yung slim.
yeah. So,
Yes.
all in all, the evolution of the standards of.
So I
beauty.
get inspired more than feeling insecure because I can see how empowered women.
But you would say, like, okay, yeah. So you know, just to have a natural conclusion to this a little bit, the evolution of the standards is moving along in every single sort of like social media platform and all these things where diversity is being more accepted here. Which so that's always really nice to see. No, I think it's a trend that's been happening all over the world. No, so let's keep on going to that because I do know what you're saying. I was watching the pageant, like Miss Universe.
Miss
Yeah.
Universe.
It actually gets
okay.
pretty interesting what they
Oh.
talk about. And I feel like it's not anymore about like how good they look. It's really about like what they say, what they can do, and all these
Yeah.
things, which is really really nice.
Their
Yeah.
brains and heart.
yeah. Okay, let me just. You want to look at some comments? Let's see if we got
Sure.
something here.
Yeah,
Ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. Whoa. Here.
Would love to know your thoughts on the Maria Clara or Dalagang Filipina stereotype. Ano ba? Stereotype pa with Dalagang Pilipina. About being yung traditional, I think.
I think so. Yeah. To be honest, I do not know what that. Like you said it,
Maria
and I'm
Clara
like,
is like our Filipina woman model icon. Yeah, that's the word, icon.
Maria
Wait,
Clara?
Yeah, you can search about it.
Yeah, I'm actually
Maria
gonna.
Clara.
I'm actually pretty curious now. I should have looked at this a
Stereotype.
little earlier. Is this her?
Yep.
Huh.
Not really.
Is
Yeah.
it?
It's
Like the
from
stereotype.
A story in,
Oh, that makes sense. I
in
thought it was like an
Serial.
actual. Yeah.
Serial, right.
Yeah. Sorry. I had to do that really quickly. I didn't know what she was talking about.
Stereotype. Oh, I don't really get the question. Like,
The question is like, would love to know your thoughts on the Maria Clara or
Dalagang Pilipina. Dalagang Pilipina.
I think at the point they just write Filipino things to bother me, so I have to like try to pronounce them.
Guys, hindi na pahirapan.
Yeah.
Hindi nyo maintindihan yung Tagalog.
See, I understood that because I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
No. Okay, did you understand
My
the question, or
thoughts.
we can just move further?
Okay. Sige, I'll share my thoughts. Being a dalaga Filipina, I think there's nothing wrong if you want to practice the traditional kind of being a woman. But if people will criticize you or tell you na, oh, dapat ganito kang babae, like with what your grandma told your sister, right? I think we still have the right and the choice to be the kind of woman we want to be with our values pa rin.
Yeah.
Because the world is evolving and we can't wear Filipina or be like the same woman as before. Because if women want to work and pursue the career and not just stay at home, diba, there's nothing wrong. So
No, I don't think. Like, honestly, I want that norm to change because I would love to be a stay-at-home dad.
oh,
Yeah, that's really like I would
It's
love that.
interesting,
Yeah, no, yeah, just clean. And, like, take care of my kids.
But I think, but I
like,
think
like
for me,
being like a real like I don't consider it like I'm not doing anything.
yeah,
Because I think
it's
it's actually
work.
Yeah, I would
Like,
imagine it to be work, no?
I'm realizing lately because before I would underestimate, oh, just a housewife, so that's it. I mean, you don't have a job, ganyan. But I'm slowly realizing how great the work it is of the mothers, especially the housewife, in taking care of their family. Like it's a work.
It is.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's not just like
Yeah.
at home. It's sometimes they tell naman it's harder than the work in the outside.
Yeah, no, it you know, it started a little bit as a joke, but it's something that I'm not really opposed to, being a stay-at-home, like picking up my kids, cleaning the house,
yeah.
cooking, and all these things. I would love to do that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, you know, power to women to really get out there so then I can...
Inspiring.
Yeah, exactly. Well, another question that was just that appeared here was,
Question.
and I think we were talking about the beauty pageants, was what do you think is the purpose of beauty pageants? Don't you think it still perpetuates
Wow.
a certain standard? I know I had to practice in my head saying that word.
Thank you for that wonderful question. I think you might talk. Di ba ang lalim ng tanong?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the question?
Oh my gosh, I deleted it. Hold on a
Lost.
second. So what do you think is the purpose of beauty pageants?
Okay.
Don't you think it still perpetuates a certain standard?
Okay. I think the purpose of beauty pageant right now is to empower women to go for your strength, your gift, that to not settle with what you have, and also even if we have flaws and our own imperfections, there's nothing can stop us in showing our strength, our gift, and our power to this world because we are women and we are empowered, and I thank you.
All right, great. I think those are the questions so far on this section. But let's move over to like something that I'm actually really curious to hear about is challenging norms. You know what I mean? So we're talking about right now all the diversity within beauty and all these things, but and we're talking about like the evolution. So we talked a little bit about norms, but then like, you know, like I always feel like the ideal beauty standard in this country is having fair skin, slim body, straight Western facial features.
Yeah.
And how do you think that fares out now? I mean, like I think it's disappearing, as you said. But how do women, like how do you say this? How do women like actively try to challenge these norms?
Try to challenge these norms.
Mhm.
I can't really say about challenging the norms, but maybe about embracing
Okay, yeah.
what we have, like the features that we have right now, what's our body type or skin color. I think we're more empowered to accept in the self that we have, how we
Yeah.
look like. Yeah. But I've actually realized that some features here in our country, it's the opposite way in the other country, like diba, in Western ba? Western ba?
The Western world, yes.
Okay, Western. They want it morena or they
That's
want
right.
a tan skin. While
Yeah.
us, we want to have a bright skin. We don't want to get
Yeah.
dark. Diba? It's opposite.
Yeah, this was really funny to me because again, I grew up in the Western world, and then like a lot of people like we want to be in the sun,
Diba?
we want to get
It's
darker,
opposite.
and then if the people with fair skin, like very fair skin, who cannot tan, they get upset. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, I cannot. But there's no darkening lotion. You know what I mean?
Or tanning lotion.
Yeah, there is tanning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
do you have certain like let's say how do you say it sunscreens that amplify getting darker, like a bronzer. I think that's what it's called.
know.
I think they never sell that here. Like a bronzer? Is it bronzer? I'm not sure.
Because we don't need
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Yeah.
The moment we get out of the house, the sun is already.
Yeah, that's right. But then, yeah. So I know what you mean. Like I think like it works a little bit differently. But then let's talk about like outside of the beauty norms, right? Challenging norms about like we were talking really briefly about women focusing on their careers and speaking out.
Yeah.
But this is just my perspective, and I'm pretty sure that some people share like a similar thought. You know, from the perspective of a man, it's like how women are supposed to behave. Right? And that falls a little bit under challenging norms because, for example, I think now what it is that when a woman is very outspoken, is
Like
very
me.
loud.
So loud and kulit.
Yes. No. But like when they're more outspoken, louder, really trying to get what they want, they're suddenly seen as like vulgar and like I do not know if there's
Bibo in Tagalog.
Yeah, I was about to
pabibo.
ask. What does that translate to?
Pabibo.
That doesn't sound so bad. Is it
Pabibo, you
used
like to
is it
be,
used like
the
as a
star? Hindi naman star. Ano ba?
like the center of attention? Attention.
Yeah,
Attention is
that,
easy.
yeah.
I was hoping it would be something negative. I heard jolly. I was like,
Jollibee.
Yeah, no. But you were so there's what was the word?
Bida bida.
What?
Bida bida. It's like you want to become the star.
Vida vida.
Bida bida.
Yeah, like life. Vida vida.
No,
No?
B as in boy. Bida bida.
Oh, okay.
You're learning Tagalog.
Yeah, I'm really doing my best. We should just do an episode on that.
Yeah.
No, no, but how would you see that? Right, like that balance of still like what you face as a woman to be able to like, you know, express yourself correctly without being like, oh, she's acting like this because she's a girl, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. For me, being a woman, you choose and you know what you want to do, what values you have. It really depends on you and not with the men, because men have their own opinion and don't what do you call this? You should raise your bar. I mean, the standards. You shouldn't settle, or you shouldn't try to please others or change because you're depending on what other people will tell you, especially with men. Because we are all different, and if you become true to yourself, you'll attract the right person for you. You'll attract a man who will respect you in spite of your high standards, who will support you and just love you.
Is that what you have from your boyfriend? Maybe on camera.
Because
Oh, he's on his phone. He's on his phone. He's watching the stream.
don't change talaga. Like if your personality is makulit din, like or
Yeah, of course. So
loud,
like really just be who you want to be.
Be authentic, be you. And still being open in improving yourself. Sabihin na, oh, this is me, I won't change. Oh, you should respect me. But if your attitude or character is kind of negative, girl, I think you need to improve.
So it really is about like being the best person you can and also contributing to society, because if you're a bad person, like you said, you should change. But like, how is that seen? Everything you're explaining right now, how would that be seen generally here in the Philippines?
Wow.
You know what I mean, right? Like I think that if you like what I understand the traditional society that Philippines actually is, everything that you're explaining right now, I think only a very selective amount of people can actually embrace themselves to the max, right? So how would you think it's generally seen if somebody was kulit? No, I got so serious, I couldn't do it. But you know what I mean, right? Like this person was like very vida vida. Yeah, like how would that generally be seen?
Generally be seen. I think it's being a confident woman. Bida-bida. Let's say not bida-bida naman or bibo, because it's a different topics, kind of jolly personality.
Yeah.
But I think it will be seen as a woman who is confident in her own skin.
Really?
Her own self.
You wouldn't think that the general population would be like...
Oh, okay. I'm
You know-
sorry.
yeah.
Oh, in the general population, I think many are struggling. And me too. I'm also still struggling. There are times I struggle in embracing myself, in embracing my strengths and weaknesses, especially in becoming a confident woman. And because I'm just an ordinary girl to an ordinary woman, so I can relate to you guys on what you feel about with the pressure you see on social media and influencers.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's unrealistic. Yeah, I can see a woman who aspires to also look good, to feel good, to improve, to be better.
And do you think the general society is embracing that more here? Or there's still, because I still honestly think there are a lot of people who have that traditional view of what a woman should be.
Okay.
I think men and women actually still have like a traditional view onto what women should be. And then there's like a large group as well. I don't know the numbers to like, but you know, who are trying to like embrace the equality amongst everything, right?
Yeah, and I think it also depends on your values. For me, if you still want to have the traditional values, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to become conservative or to not become a so outspoken woman, then go. It really depends on your values too.
Yeah. But would you say that the Philippines is going to the right direction?
I don't know.
No, when it comes to this, I mean, like
Okay,
we're
okay.
talking right now. I think the more topic about equality and all these
Yes,
things. But
I think.
I mean, if we're talking about norms and like how society is built.
I think we're becoming more vocal in the realities of life, not just with women, but with our own struggles, our own vulnerability.
Yeah.
That we get to talk more about it, to share about it, and so we get to embrace more about it because we see people sharing their own struggles to their own problems. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can like have more empathy with each other. Compassion.
Yeah, oh, guys, you should have a review with all the traits of a woman.
Yeah. Like reflect back on everything we were just talking
Yeah.
about. Absolutely. Okay. So now there's another topic that we all wanted to discuss with you, and I think it's a pretty interesting one, and it is the mental health.
Oh yes.
And what was it here? The pressure to being beautiful. Now, no point did we really touch upon the subject that every woman strives to be like beautiful. I think it's really just a very subjective aspect already what we're talking about. But mental health, it must do something to people, when they, for example, scrolling through social media or idolizing somebody who they can never be, right? How has that affected the modern world with mental health for women here? I mean,
Yeah, as a
you're
psychologist
yes,
student.
this is what you were waiting for.
Yeah, it's a deep topic and a hard talk, but it's true that many women, not just women, but in general, people are struggling with their mental health or being affected because of what we see on social media, because of what people put out there.
Yeah.
Unconsciously, sometimes we feel naiinggit tayo, or ano ba English na naiinggit ulit?
We envy them.
Huh?
We envy them.
Yeah,
Envy
we envy
them,
them.
yeah.
And there's nothing wrong about them because
Oh.
psychologically we want to be like others, or parang we want to also do the same. And yes, there are some who struggle with eating disorders, with anxiety, with depression.
Would you say these are like the bigger ones, like the main ones? Anxiety, eating disorders, depression?
The disorders, yes. Those are the usual or common disorders or problems that people face with their mental health. And there's nothing wrong with it.
What?
I mean, like, there's nothing wrong if you're experiencing it.
I mean, do you mean more like it's not it's a common thing to experience that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
okay.
You're making it seem like it's okay. Like.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you're diagnosed, or because sometimes it's not their fault if they had that disorder.
Yeah, of course.
It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
their
yeah.
fault. And we are here to care for them, to support them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that. When you,
Just kind of reflecting on what you were saying. But like, we're talking about depression. it's a serious topic, and I mean it's a whole different topic to
Yeah.
talk about here in the Philippines because I feel like
It's a stigma still.
yeah, it's still a stigma. The same with a lot of mental health disorder. But then right now, okay, we have to focus more on like the female aspect of it, the women's aspect of it. Is it a high number? I wouldn't know if you know the numbers. I wouldn't know the numbers. But like, is it something that's more and more common that people are speaking out about depression based on their self-image?
I can't really specify if it's about your self-image, but I know that many are more experiencing about depression and anxiety disorders.
Yeah.
But
Do you, like I wonder. I'm actually pretty curious to know like how bad it is. Like I wish we had like a look into it.
I don't really
Yeah,
know
yeah,
about the numbers, but it's increasing. The rates are increasing, and sometimes people aren't aware that they already have the disorder.
Yeah.
But sometimes too, the problem is people try to diagnose themselves even if it's not true. Parang nagiging overthinking ba?
Okay. Yeah. So but they could be like clinically diagnosable.
If you have the symptoms,
Yeah.
you can't diagnose yourself alone. You really need a professional to
Yeah.
make sure that it's.
But there's also another disorder that you talked about, which I think is like one that's very common when it comes to body image, which is eating disorders.
Eating.
Right.
Anorexia nervosa, bulimia.
Yeah.
And bulimia and there's other bulimia nervosa and bulimia. I think that those are three. Yeah, the main eating.
Which ones are? Sorry, I understood. No. So I know anorexia is just like the lack of wanting appetite, like really thinking I don't want to eat.
Yeah.
And bulimia is.
Bulimia is when you try
But
to
you
purge by yun name.
Yeah, when you try to like vomit after every time you eat. But you said 3. What was the third one?
Bulimia nervosa ba? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you can search it up.
I could.
The other one is you overeat naman.
Okay, that's what I have. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Is this also something that's very common here?
Oh,
Like all these eating disorders? Can you say something that you come across?
I think yes, for some yes, or unconsciously din.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what I have here. on
Grabe,
my
naging
notebook.
serious na po tayo.
Yeah, no, but it's good because like
at least.
I mean, there's
or-
like certain aspects to it. I have a few notes here that I actually want to look into. Body image concerns. Like, see, there's another thing. Like, let's talk about beauty standards and body image, right? Right now, we're diversifying. Like we were just talking about the diversifying of beauty image. But like, are people fully aware of certain body positivity? Would not necessarily mean a healthy body. So if I think about like right now, every now and then you see a picture of someone who's obese and saying, I'm beautiful, I'm this and that. But they never talk about the health risks of it. So me, for example, I'm a big person. I am super aware of all the health issues. And of course, it's a constant battle with yourself, trying to lose weight and all these things. I understand that. I go through it myself. But I can never say that my body is beautiful because I know that they have huge health risks to it. And if I admire my body, I'm just promoting a sort of like fantasied health. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm learning.
Yeah. No, but I mean, this
different
must be
perspective.
something
Yes.
that you know, if you're a psychologist, and you must have to deal with a little bit. I mean,
I'm not a psychologist.
sorry, I keep on saying that. I just, you know, like.
It's manifesting.
Yeah, I got you. This is. You come back in 4 months. I'll call her a psychologist, and she won't correct me. No, no, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
And so how would you see that? Like that concept of like people embracing something that is actually not like healthy to embrace.
Okay. I think you'll know it in yourself if what you're doing or what you're practicing is good or unhealthy. It will come, like your confidence will come from the inside out. Because if you know you have the discipline, if you know that you're practicing healthy habits, that even if you look not that sexy or not that slim, but you know you're doing your part, then I think it's the good thing that you embrace whatever physical appearance that you have. But with what you said, that when you know in yourself that you're not really practicing the good habits and you're trying to promote love your body and stuff. I think it will come from you that you're not confident or you don't really.
No, but I think it's just more a self-awareness
Yeah,
thing, no?
self-awareness.
Like, again, you've seen the pictures I'm talking about, women, sometimes men, who are obese, and then they really say, I'm beautiful, all these things. I'm not saying that they're not,
Yeah.
but what I like, it also falls back into like, when people see this, of course, they might go through a certain ridicule because, let's say, being fat is also seen like as an outside the physical norm. But then also, I worry about like,
The reality.
the reality of it, yeah,
And the
absolutely.
health
You know what I
risks,
mean?
yeah.
Like, yeah, like.
Maging totoo tayo.
Yeah, but if you're a big person, your health risks are much higher. Diabetes is number one. Of course, heart failure and all these things that goes with it.
Yeah.
Of course, it's. I'm not saying that it's inevitable, but like it's just much higher when you are a big person. And then, yeah. So when it comes to like beauty standards and like all these norms, how I don't know where I was
How
going
do
with
you
this.
get the balance?
Exactly, yeah. And then do you think the Philippines is built to create a balance for this?
Wow.
Yeah.
I think for me, even if you're not really practicing the healthy habits or you know in yourself you're obese, you can still embrace yourself and love who you are.
Yeah.
Knowing that you can improve on working on your habits. And it's also the other way that you should also do your part in building healthy habits, in being disciplined. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, actually, I agree with you. Yeah. But again, this is not only for people who are like large, but it also falls for people who fall under, for example, these eating disorders like anorexia. You know what I mean?
I think with those who are struggling or having mental health problems, mental health professional will be the best to support them with what they're going through.
Yeah. But you also think that like like let's say a mental health professional takes these beauty standards and like norms of what a woman has to be into account?
I really don't
Or
know about.
would it be more about like trying to get them out of that disorder?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's it. It's with their mindset and their self-awareness that they're trying to work.
Yeah. Okay. So this goes like, okay. Let's see. Because this question came here because I wrote here like exercising and dieting amongst Filipinos to.
Can I
aim to
also add, since
Yes.
you mentioned about
Yes.
exercising, I'm also the type who exercises regularly and I go to the gym, but I still have these imperfections, like syempre yung fats or cellulites that we try to hide. And I also get to relate na even if you work out or do your best, sometimes more bloated yung tummy mo, you still have fats, and that's okay, guys. That's okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's being human. You won't have the perfect body talaga na.
You know, what's really nice to hear is that you can say this now. I think like 50 years ago, you say something like this, it's kind of like, not so much. You know what I mean, right? Yeah.
Because I'm still young, though.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying with the progression of these beauty standards, like right now, again, I mean, what I was talking about are extremes. Let's say when you're obese or like incredibly overweight, that has health risks. But I feel people who like fall under the normal BMI, that there's still imperfections that come with
Yes,
just who
there's
you are.
still,
Yeah.
of course, there's still love.
Absolutely. So yeah, that came from here, from like exercising and dieting. But yeah, there's so much to unpack here actually, because we were just talking about food, like, right? But I feel like nutritionally, the Philippines is not like the most nutritious country.
Of course. Lalo na,
You
we
know what I
have
mean?
all the food orders like food panda.
Yeah, exactly. But then everything
Yeah.
contains like really like
Unhealthy.
unhealthy habits.
Fast
There's no
food.
balance. Yeah, so it actually makes it a little bit of a battle for people, especially if you have eating disorders. And so, what was the one that bulimia nervosa?
Nervosa.
And that's when you.
I think I'm not really sure about bulimia and bulimia nervosa, but the other is you try to eat a lot.
Yeah.
And the other is when you try to eat and you purge or you want to vomit it after.
Oh, okay. No. I'm talking about people who just like kind of like stress eat. I don't know if there's a term
It's
for
not
that.
a disorder.
Yeah,
You just
yeah,
stress eat.
yeah.
Because me myself, I also.
Yeah, but no, maybe there's a thing for like someone who maybe there's a term for it. Remember the movie The Whale? It's like Brendan Fraser, who was like morbidly obese, and he would deal with his sadness and depression with food. But I don't know if there's like a term for the eating disorder, disorderly eating, of like stuffing your face a lot and then feeling sad that you ate a lot. Anyways, yeah. So the main question here again, when it comes to mental health and beauty pressures, do you think the pressure to meet certain beauty standards affects our mental health? And I think that's true.
Yeah.
Right? This is what we have here.
I think the pressure that comes from the society.
I think so too,
From
right?
what others tell, that you should be like this, you should be thin but not too thin. You should be excellent. Parang sometimes kasi our struggle is we become too much or not good enough. And sometimes
Do you talk about general as
in
like
general.
people?
Yeah, in general.
Okay, yeah.
But also for women, like
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
we become too much or not good enough. So we have this pressure. Ano ba talaga? Ano ba talagang gagawin ko sa buhay ko? Kahit anong gawin ko, parang ang daming yung sinasabi, right?
Yeah.
And that's where your self-love will come. And for me, if your worth is rooted in superficial things or on opinions of others, it will pass and it's not stable. But if you root your worth to your creator or to someone you believe higher above you, then you know that even if you have your own flaws and insecurities, you're confident enough because someone created you in his own image and likeness.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's like a whole different level. Yeah. I didn't think you were gonna go there. I was like, whoa, what an adventure. Yeah, no, I understand what you mean. Absolutely. Yeah. Should we look at more questions? Let's see if we got some here. I don't think we have many more. Here. A question for Miss Christel. How do you empower yourself? Oof. Should we answer that later? Because I think we're going to talk about that in a short while now, women empowerment. And let's see if there's a question here. Oh, empowered women who inspires you. We can talk about that again. A second, but maybe is it possible to accept? Here, maybe it's, what is this word? But see, I have very bad eyes here.
And
Wait.
yung your mic?
No, it's
Okay
fixed
na,
now.
okay,
Yeah,
it's
okay
fixed
now.
na.
But maybe it's possible to accept your current body while working towards being healthier.
Yeah, that of course.
Yeah,
That's
right?
it. That's what I'm talking about. Accepting who you are right now and being open to improving yourself because you know that you could grow.
Yeah. Good. I mean, again, like it sucks because like when we talk about mental health, it's a really big issue. Not only when it comes to like beauty standards of like, but I think it's still fairly stigmatized in the Philippines, you know. And for some people, it must be even harder because you're saying about if you're being raised as a boy, you have to kind of like suck it up, and you just have to like, it's okay, you know. So let's move to the next part. If you guys have any more questions, by the way, just put it into the live stream. We'll get to them, of course, eventually.
Yes.
Yeah. Body positivity movement. Is it a big thing here?
Is it a big? I think I don't really see much pa here in the Philippines, but in other countries, yes. I get to see Instagram.
Okay, but then sorry, just really jumping back to like social media. If you come across these beauty creators and all these things, are they the Filipino ones or just worldwide?
I see more worldwide.
Okay, yeah. Are you familiar with the ones here, or not so much?
Here, I think yes. There's also a creator naman about body positivity. I forgot her name.
I think there are a few.
Yeah, there are a few.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. I think like if you look abroad, the thought of body positivity, the evidence of like how do you say it, the diversity and beauty standards being much wider.
Yes.
You can see that more and more, and it's actually really nice to see because it already like takes away like a whole level of like stress. We can focus on other things to make us worry. So here, the movement in the Philippines of body positivity is not so much quite yet.
No, I think not really.
What do you think?
For Filipinos, parang we have this attitude of being mahiyain.
Okay, somebody has to translate that for us.
Mahiyain means shy. Being shy.
Oh, okay, that's way too long of a word. Yeah.
Yeah, mahiyain, and we tend to we tend to have the need to please others, or I shouldn't be different. I mean, we need to blend in. We need to be in our comfort zone. That's why I think there are just a few who put themselves out there about authenticity.
Really? Do you think more people conform here?
Yes.
Yes, right? That's what I think too. I wanted to make it sound like I didn't know, but yes. I feel like it's a very
compared to other
conformist.
cultures,
Yeah,
right? Do your own thing.
So what would you say in order to improve this body positivity? Because let me just jump in really quickly when I say this, because when I think of beauty standards in the Philippines, I don't know why I didn't say this earlier, but I think there still is like a certain look. When I do come across these Filipino creators or these ideologies, I do still think it's about slim.
Yes,
it's about,
slim.
You know what I mean?
White.
Yeah, but it's true. But then everything that you're saying, it kind of goes like what I perceive, right?
Yeah.
But then when you say things like, how do you say it? Embracing the uniqueness of everybody, what you like, technically, right? Like, there's beauty and flaws in all these things, right? See, I don't see that here, but that just might be my perspective, you know. Like, I do see a lot of, because in At the Backdoor, when we do research, we come across a lot of like advocates for women's rights and all these things, which is fantastic to see. But body positivity, I feel that it's still kind of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So what could we do?
How could we do
to
start that movement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might start here. I'm kidding. To all the creators who are doing their best to increase the body positivity in the Philippines. I mean,
for me, it starts with yourself.
Yeah.
In your small ordinary ways. Like, it doesn't need to be big. Oh, guys, look, I changed na my habits. Like, it starts with you, from the little things, from your habits, from your atomic habits.
Did you read the book?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm halfway.
Yeah. From the small, ordinary things that you do each day, that's how you start your movement, your change. Like, with what you eat, or what time you're gonna sleep, with what content you consume.
Ooh, yeah, that's another thing. Yeah,
things that
I think the content consumption is really big.
And I think it would help that if you surround yourself with the right people who support you and uplift you, and also going to the content and having the algorithm of empowering yourself, not the ones that will make you feel low or insecure.
Yeah, but I think still content that empowers yourself could still be a little harmful.
Sometimes.
Right? You know what I mean? Yeah. You see these, then again, you see these people like really, really trying to make a change. And then for a moment you're like, yeah. And then you're like, what am I doing?
What am I doing here?
Yeah.
I'm missing out.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, like,
and then there's nothing wrong in feeling that that way. Like, you feel low, but you can embrace that or use it as a fuel that if he can do it, then I can do it too.
Yeah, I think so too.
Or maybe improve and embrace more body positivity and the authenticity.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty curious to see. Yeah.
What?
I'm curious also to see, like, because again, I'm not very exposed to it so much here. I do see certain, like in the youth at least, let's say people who young millennials, and then and then the generations below the Gen Zs, and what's next? What's after Gen Z?
I don't know.
X? Is Gen Z? What's after Gen Z? Gen X?
No, I think Gen X is older.
Gen X is older.
Yeah.
What's after Z? Lower.
Why?
Younger. Is there a term for that? Anyways, whatever. What you're talking about? Millennials coming down lower. You know, there's a lot of movement. Like, I see it amongst the people that I see here, that there's a lot more, you know, will to fight to make a change, which is really, really nice to see. So body positivity movement, little by little.
Yeah,
I think you will get
start
there.
with yourself.
Yes.
And it's the small, ordinary decisions and things that really matter, because it will compound. It's the Atomic Habits, guys. You must read it.
Okay, yeah.
Then,
So Atomic Habits is a book.
Yeah.
Coincident. I didn't know you read it.
Yeah.
I'm halfway. I like reading it really slowly because it is really, really motivational to an extent, because you can really find yourself in it. So it's about like changing little habits, atomic, so tiny habits about yourself to make a change for yourself. And I'm reading it really, really slowly, because every time I read a chapter or like a few pages, I'm like,
It's a must read.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just throwing that there really quickly for the people still watching with us. In the last two parts, we're talking about self-acceptance. How important is self-acceptance in today's world?
Ooh.
But this a little contradicts a bit with the conformity standard here in the Philippines. Yeah.
Yeah. Self-acceptance so important because like with what I said earlier, people are going to say a lot about you whatever you do.
Mm.
And it really depends on you and how you'll face it. And it starts with self-acceptance, accepting both your strengths and weaknesses,
Yeah.
your flaws, your imperfections. Because once you've accepted it, whatever people will tell you then won't really affect you much.
No.
Because you know your ground, you know what's true, you know what you believe in. So I think self-acceptance will help you build that confidence, will help you grow, and will also humble you that you can't do it alone, that there are still things you need to improve on. So
Of course.
you need to ask help from people, support from others.
And
And that's where we guys, our compassion, our connection with others will go.
No, but I understand what you mean. And then, I mean, something like this, again, like these little small changes into yourself, accepting who you are and accepting your flaws and understanding where you have to be better in. I mean, it does then affect everything around you. Of course, we're talking about beauty standards now, but then, just self-acceptance can have like such a big impact on its own, and then everything will kind of follow while you keep on getting better and better.
Domino effect.
Yeah, but another thing about self-acceptance, of course, we're talking about like your inner acceptance, but I think it's also just acceptance of others. Like accepting other people as well for who they are.
Yeah, I think.
And I think that can also like.
I think once you've accepted yourself, it will be easier for you to accept others.
Yeah, to understand people a bit better.
To empathize with them.
Yeah, exactly. So men can also do it.
Yeah. Dapat lang.
Yeah. Wow.
You know what's dapat lang?
I think so. No.
They should also do it.
Yeah. Dapat. Okay, I do that. Then I was right. Okay, sometimes when I understand them and they say, "Do you know what that means?" I suddenly assume, "Do I?" And then I get a little confused.
Okay.
Before we move to the last part, which is the ending to this, we're going to talk about a certain part. Let's look at some few more questions here. Ooh, wait, I gotta like copy paste this somewhere else because it's too big.
Self-acceptance.
Here, this is a lot of Tagalog.
It's really hard when your own mother compares your look sa ibang babae. Like, tignan mo si ganito, maganda, pero di sumasali sa pageant. I used to join pageants, but after that, I stopped.
Who said this? Oh, there's more.
Wow.
A user called Fried Chicken. Thanks so much for commenting.
It's really hard when your own mother compares you or your look sa ibang babae. Okay, so
this
first...
is the question.
Ay, ang ganda. So first with the question of beauty pageant, how will I question it?
I think it's a two-parter because they commented these two things, right?
Hi, Fried Chicken.
Yeah, Fried Chicken. Thanks for watching Fried Chicken. It's a really good question. I'm actually it's good that you brought this up because I kind of forgot it as well. Can you just 1 second? Something that's really distracting me. Sorry, Rainer.
Okay,
Yeah.
so your mother compares you. Okay, I can't blame your... I think our mothers are like that. They tend to, hey, look at this person. You should be like that. I think your mother still comes from love that she wants you to improve or...
Yeah, it's not taking it directly
it's just
from
that
like...
sometimes our mothers say a lot. Sorry, mommy. Say a lot, okay. But yes, with what I said again, people are going to say a lot about you, whatever you do, even especially your family or those closest to you can say hurtful things. But it really depends on you and how you face it. Like
Yeah, but I'm guessing like when you're younger.
when you're young, you think
No, I'm not saying that they were like the Fried Chicken. Sorry, Fried Chicken said
teenager,
that.
right?
No, but I'm guessing like it can somewhat like affect the minds of like young people, right?
Yeah.
So to be hearing this can like eventually lead to something a bit more, like internally when you're older, like sort of like distort reality of what beauty should be. If you're constantly, because what you're saying is you're constantly being compared.
Yeah.
Compares, and then what's this maganda pero di
Sumasali sa pageant, doesn't join the pageant.
like they cannot join the pageant,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so I think like
Why
this
did
something.
Why did you stop? I don't know. Why did she stop?
No,
Open.
yeah, but then like does that? Yeah, I think that it still kind of really creates like this sort of thing when you grow up, because I'm guessing pageants you stop after a while. I do not know how old.
I'm really not familiar because I
Oh,
don't
okay.
join pageants.
Yeah.
I just watch.
Yeah, but I'm saying that like if you're put into pageants from a young age, you know, and then
There's the
or
pressure.
they tell you you're not pretty enough to join, or they tell you cannot, you're never gonna win a pageantry or
So
whatever.
much pressure.
Yeah, it will eventually mold you in a way when you're older. So I think it does create a certain like, you know, actually that comes from the second part of the question
Can
where
say about people find it hard to accept themselves, like with women with body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphia is also another disorder.
yeah. So the question that the double parter, I think you guys said see it in the chat, was what can you say about people who find it hard to accept themselves, like women with body dysmorphia?
It's easier said than done, to be honest. Easier said than
Yeah,
done.
I
It's
think
easy
so
to
too.
say, oh, accept yourself, you should love your flaws, you should embrace who you are. But it really takes work, guys. It really takes work, and it won't be easy. Like, for me, I still am working with it, with my self-acceptance, with my self-awareness. So, for me, just don't be hard on yourself first, because you need to start small, little, slowly.
Yeah.
Then you become kind with yourself, right?
I think so too.
Become kind.
But
with
again,
yourself.
what's something really important that you said, it's easier said than done. I think,
But-
if I'm not mistaken, body dysmorphia is a disorder.
Yeah.
So
Not like me.
no, but I think professional help, if ever, if I may say, I'm not sure. You're more experted than I am on these things, but yeah, professional help I think is also
Yeah,
very
that's
like
it. Also,
yeah.
professional. If you think you can do it already, then seek support from a professional.
Yeah, I think it's more helpful than possible. But again, you know, you still have the stigma of having to see someone for
Yeah.
mental health. Hopefully we can break that too here. So let's move on to the last part, and I think is the most a nice way to end this. So, women's empowerment. In what way do you see women's empowerment linked to changing beauty ideals and self-expression?
LinkedIn job. Just guys, ganito. Okay, in what ways do you see women's empowerment linked to changing beauty ideals and self-expression? Can you explain more the question to me?
So we're talking about like the progression and the evolution of like the standards of being a woman and also beauty standards. And sorry, so that's what we're talking about. So women's empowerment, so standing up, you know, the equality, fighting for everlasting. Well, it's still ongoing, the fight for equality, especially here in the Philippines. I still think there's like a big discrepancy and imbalance. How do you think that affects the more women empowerment there is? How would it affect the beauty ideals and self-expression?
I think it would help that if women are more empowered and sharing their empowerment, empowering other women too, not just with their strengths or perfection or gifts, but also empowering them to embrace their weaknesses, their imperfections, the realities of being a woman.
Yeah, not hiding.
Not hiding.
Yes.
Diba? Parang when we know that the other is also experiencing our problem, oh, I can relate, oh, I'm not just alone in this. And it would help them too.
Yeah,
It would encourage them to grow to be better.
I think so too. How do you see it in the Philippines though? We're talking, it is fairly general what you said, right?
General.
We're talking about the Philippines in a country that is, you were talking about like a country that has like a big, like, let's say just for starters, socioeconomic difference, a big power distance and all these things where the people up here are defining what the people down here have to look like, right? But then for the people, like the general people that fall, what are the larger economical groups here? Lower, middle? It's always a pyramid,
Middle,
right? The
yeah.
middle class. Like how could they empower this a bit more to like diffuse it a bit? The how do you say it?
I think the women who have influence, who have more influence, or more known, has the power to empower women. Because of course, if you're not really that known, or parang you don't put yourself out there, how will you help empower women. You can empower women in your own small ways, at home, at school, at your work. But there's so much power if you have influence. And I hope other content creators or yung influencers will use that power appropriately and would help women out there to not just showing their aesthetic.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
Ganun, pero sharing also their own weaknesses and struggles. So I remembered, if you're familiar with Maxine Magalona, she's also an artist here in the Philippines.
The
She
name
shares-
sounds super familiar.
Yeah, you can look at her account. I love seeing her post because she shares about her own struggles too, especially about mental health.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. And whenever I see her post, I get inspired, and I can see that someone with an influence who is popular, is struggling, is having a problem, it means it's okay.
Mhm.
And we're experiencing the same. We're not alone.
Yeah, but I think that really falls into like everybody a little bit. And I think right now, of course, we're talking about the side from women, but if we have to talk from the side of men, I think it also falls into the same thing. You know, when like I do not know any, like literally zero accounts of men openly speaking about mental health. I mean, for example, I follow some accounts regarding coping with ADHD.
Okay.
Because I have ADHD, right?
Okay.
And I love seeing that because you could relate to it, and I'm like, okay, you know, that sense of not being alone, and I think that's a big thing.
It uplifts you. That.
I think so. Yeah, exactly. And the one that I follow has a comedy factor to it, so
Makes it lighter.
yeah, it's called ADHD light, so that's why. So it makes it so yeah, that's lighter. I would actually love to see more of these content also then for men who struggle with, like, I think a big part is also like
Men,
depression.
go put yourself out there.
Yeah, exactly. A bit more nurturing, compassion, empathy, intuition, collaboration, and what was the last one? Emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also do think that it's the community that shapes what happens next. You know, again, if I can speak for myself, I'm lucky enough that I have a close community around me that I can freely speak to.
That's good.
Right, but I feel like still a lot of people here do not have that because they feel like they cannot speak up, or they feel that they cannot, you know, that their problems are irrelevant. And all
It
these things.
helps if you have your own community or
Mhm.
own organization,
Yeah.
own group, say a safe space.
Exactly, and I think that really spreads, and little by little, then one safe space here can create another safe space there, and then it really builds something
A
beautiful.
safe world.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I would say, yeah. I don't know if I missed anything else.
We have another question.
Let's see if we have more questions here. Let's see. I think we have like two. Oh, here, someone asked for. It's because it's so small on my laptop. Arlene.
Arlene Gonza, I'm skinny and I hate those people pointing out my insecurities. I'm pressured to gain weight.
Okay, then she goes like, what should I do? Also, guys,
what should I do?
while we're still answering questions, we're towards the end of this live stream. So if you guys have any questions, please just throw them in, right?
Comment down below.
Yeah.
Okay, Mayago na.
But let's talk first about Arlene's question
Okay,
here.
Arlene. So Arlene, what are you supposed to do? First, you acknowledge it that, okay, you're skinny. That's the body that you have, and you have this hatred. Because of course you're human, you get hurt when people will point those insecurities, and it's okay. So you acknowledge the hurt that you have. And second is, you're pressured, right, to gain weight. Use that pressure to fuel yourself in accepting who you are, or if you want to improve on your body, then go. But it's more on really embracing what you have right now and being open to improve and be better.
Yeah. Yeah, if I can add with this as well, because again, you're skinny, I'm a big person.
It's
You know,
opposite.
but it kind of just fall under the same thing. And then
Resonates.
for me, I have this same, my grandmother always telling me to lose weight. And then, you know, it's something that I grew up with, losing weight, blah, blah, blah. Again, I'm not totally dissatisfied, but I'm aware of, like, let's say the health risks. And that's like something I really, really focus on when it comes to my size. And I think that's also something that you should maybe also look into if you're, are you skinny, but are you unhealthy? That's another thing. Because if you get pressured to gain weight, I mean, you start like eating incorrectly and all these things. And some people are just not built for it. I would think, no, there's some body types that are not built for like,
Kahit ano gawin mong workout or how many pakainin mong kanin.
Yeah. And I think the moment that it really affects your day to day, or affects the way that you live your life, that's when it starts really being a problem. No, like
Yeah,
yeah,
that's it.
that's something that
It's part of the normal psychology. If it gets to affect your daily life, then it's
Yes,
once.
I think that's something that we really have to point out, that the moment that you feel like, this is the same for fried chicken with body dysmorphia, like the moment that you really feel that it affects your day to day and you cannot function as a person, or the person that you are or you want to be,
Ask help.
ask for help. Yeah, and it can start from someone with a friend. And then hopefully that friend will tell you to see a professional, but that's up to you as well, you know what I mean? That's like what's really important. Do you know who fried chicken is?
I don't know.
I hope more, so fried chicken says here, I hope more women can watch and hear this. To my girlies, queens, please always stay safe, and you're all beautiful in your own ways.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
ladies.
I think we should have had fried chicken to sign us off. Like,
Yeah.
like, well, I'm
I
not
love
sure.
her message.
Yeah, exactly. But let's just read a few more comments. Maybe we got something a bit more. Ugh, ugh. What happened here? Sorry, y'all.
Comment down below your questions.
Oh, why isn't, I don't understand
Without
how this
an
works. I'm scrolling here. It's not scrolling here. Wait a second.
It's okay not to be perfect. Yes, we won't really be perfect because we're human.
Oh, okay. Alessandra said, "Curly girls, rise up." Word. My mom is a curly girl, so, and she's Filipina, so like, let's go. Let's see what we got here. I think we got through it here. Oh, here we got one more question from Teo. Again, we still have a little time, so you guys can ask whatever you like. How have beauty standards evolved over time?
I think we already talked about it.
Well, we can recap it for a
Yeah,
second.
sure.
Yeah.
Can you joke? Napagod na.
Well, you're the one who said it.
Yeah.
You're the one who answered the
standards
question.
evolve over time. Again, we started from being conservative, being prim and proper, being what did your grandmother told a while ago? Traditional, gracious,
poise.
Yeah.
You know.
Be gentle.
Yeah.
Not to be loud.
Yeah. To be ladylike. That's what.
Yeah, I think women right now have transformed to be more vocal, open, expressive, and courageous.
Yeah, but we're talking more about the beauty standards.
Okay, beauty standards.
So, just right at the top of my head, we're thinking about things like, for example, armpit hair. This is just one, like, you know what I mean? I think before that was seen as something that's a bit more like, ugh.
Stigma.
But I think now it's being more like
starting to embrace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that over time, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Over time, like the natural beauty now more than ever is being really embraced. Yes. And that's a big part. We missed a big part on that.
That's it.
Right?
That's it. Teo VA answered your question. I think beauty standards here are mas na-accept na natin. We're becoming more open with the realities, with our own imperfections, our own flaws, with the physical appearance. We're starting to embrace and accept it. So mas nagiging, we tend to appreciate more the beauty even if there are flaws or imperfections.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good way to move forward. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I have nothing else to add. If there's no more comments.
Yeah.
This was it.
Wow.
The live stream.
My back hurts.
Yeah, does it? One day we'll get more comfortable chairs.
No, it's okay. It's my back. When you're going old.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. Hey, you're in college. I'm really talking about growing old. Get out of here. I turned 31 last weekend. I thought my life was going to end.
You still look young.
Yeah, I do my best. It's the skincare. No. Absolutely not. I do nothing.
Natural.
Yeah. But again, thanks so much, Christel. This was fantastic. I got to learn a few things about here, and I got to think about things myself as well that I didn't think I would have to think about. I said think a lot. You know what I mean? It sparked a lot of thoughts in my mind as well. When I was doing research and I was talking about this, just really quickly, Mary Lou says appreciate women's giftedness.
That's my mother.
Oh. Did she hear about that thing? Maybe Marilu, I hope that you heard what she said about like mothers say things that are hurtful.
Mothers are.
Yeah. Don't worry, my mom's the same. Yeah.
Giftedness, yes, that's true. There's really something in every woman that you meet that you can't explain, but there's the giftedness, there's this beauty, there's this mystery with them that comes from the inside.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you would like to tell to our viewers?
Oh my gosh, thanks. First, I'm very grateful to have this chance to be interviewed at the Backdoor and talk about
it's so poofy.
at the Backdoor.
Yeah.
And talk about womanhood. So, ladies, girls, let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's embrace our strengths and weaknesses, and just be you. Just be yourself. And I know it's hard to be pressured, to be compared with others today, but just be you, love who you are, and your beauty comes from the inside out, always. It's really the inside out. Because our beauty in the external could fade, and mawawala din yan, but the beauty inside, that's the best. That's the best, I think. The beauty standard inside, in your heart.
I think little by little, again, like the massive changes that we had when what you were saying about like the modernization of a woman, that it's just only going to get better. And like there's going to be like a lesser gap between like the quality thing that constantly fighting for and all these things. And I think it also goes hand in hand with beauty standards, no?
I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Gabriel.
you've been fantastic. This was good.
Can I also promote my podcast?
Yes, go ahead. I'll give you 10 minutes to promote yourself. I'll just be sitting here waiting.
Insert the link.
Yeah. We'll insert. I'm not sure if it's already inserted,
No,
but then I'll be sure to add it later, so
Okay,
then
sure.
people could check it out.
Yeah, I create content about self-help and psychology, so you can follow me if you want to learn more about
What is it called? Rel Talk?
Rel Talk, as in R-E-L. Rel.
Rel
It's shortcut for relationship.
Like
And
this? Is it on
Rel
Spotify?
Talk, yeah, it's in Spotify. Rel. Oh, sinerge.
Yeah.
Rel Talk. There's a space. Rel Talk
Oh,
podcast.
Rel Talks podcast.
Yeah, follow us on Rel Talk podcast.
Maybe I can
so if
directly
you want
add it here.
relationship tips naman,
Is it
We're
any
in-
of this?
we're in what?
Tienes podcast, programas.
I think it's wait, Espanyol ba?
Is it this one?
Rel Talk.
No. Horrible thing to do right now.
Yeah, here.
Here, this is it. Okay, perfect. Okay, continue. You just keep on promoting yourself, and then I will link this directly into the comments so that people can see it. Yeah.
It's about relationship tips
Uh-huh.
or talks. And also you can follow me on TikTok at Christel Barba. So I think my name is there naman. So Christel
Yeah.
Barba. For short type of content about self-help and psychology. So yes, that's it.
Wait, let me just comment it down below. This is her podcast if you guys want to hear what she talks about. I don't know if it looks good that I added it here through my own name. Anyways, yes. So again, Christel, this was very lightening, and I hope you guys enjoyed everything that we showed. Please support our channel. Check out the links below. Yes, and then if you guys like our content, check out our other videos. Again, I think if you guys have any questions for Rel, sorry, Christel, sorry. Yeah, I was thinking of Rel Talk the whole time. Yeah. But if you have any questions for Christel, of course, I think you'll be open to answering them as well.
Yes, send me a message.
Yes. And then hopefully I can
To reach
appear on
out.
your podcast
Sure.
and talk about relationships. I think
Yes.
that'll be a lot of fun, right?
Yeah, sure.
Again, thanks so much for coming. This was really
Thank you so
was
much,
very
guys. I
enlightening.
really enjoyed.
I did. Yeah.
Yes, grabe. Woo!
So
The
much
energy.
information in my head. I'm like, oh my god, how am I gonna process this all?
Let's
Yeah.
go, women!
Again, thanks so much for everybody watching. If you guys have any questions, you can always comment them down below, and I'll be sure to try to get back to them with me or the At the Backdoor team. Check out the links all in the description. So much things you can check out, and everything that has to do with At the Backdoor, it's all there. And then, until then, we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you.
Yes.
Paalam.
Bye.
Grabe. Oh my God. Thank you so much.